The current trend is to feminize young men in the hope.
Oh my god, this is one of their iconic graphs. Holy shit. Oh my god. Label your axis, motherfucker. Jesus Christ. Hey y'all, welcome back. While this video's title and thumbnail specify a subject, at time of recording, I have no clue what I'm about to watch. This video is a part of a series I call PragerU've Got to Be Kidding Me, in which I react to various PragerU videos at random. To explain the rules of the game, I'll have to call in a specialist, but before I do, folks in the biz tell me it's good to ask people to toss this video a like and subscribe before the end of the video, so here I am asking y'all to do just that. With that out of the way, let's turn it on over to Dartboard Piley. To my sensitive viewers, for this next segment, I suggest you avert your gaze. We just gave Dartboard Piley a Pop-Tart, and when he's on a sugar high, he gets a little wild. What's up, gamer girls and party people? And yes, those are the two genders. Welcome back to another episode of YouTube's hottest new political game show. The rules are simple. Each number on this board is associated with a different PragerU video. I take one of these little darty boys, throw it at the boardy boo, hope it hits, and react to whichever video it does. Make sense? I hope it does. Let's get to it. Ah, shit. Ah, that is just off the 18. Shit. Ah. Ow, you. Recording right now. Yes, I want to play Magic later. You piece of. You fuck. Number 4. All right, folks, looks like we got a winner. Today's episode will be Make Men Masculine Again. Let's see what Dennis Prager has to say about femboys. To do so, let me turn it on over to Reaction Room Piley. Take it away, Reaction Room Piley. Thanks a lot, Dartboard Piley. Now, a development since getting the feed from Dartboard Piley, PragerU's actually dropped 2 videos with the same title, so it's a 2-for-1 today. We'll see if they develop their arguments better in between the two, but yeah, let's frickin' get into it.
Rape, murder, war. They all have one thing in common.
What? We starting off strong. Okay, Jesus.
All the stuff of toxic masculinity, right? And the solution is obvious. Make men less masculine.
Plenty of people critical of toxic masculinity are perfectly fine with masculinity. You know, there's plenty of examples that'll surface of people taking a character in media that's a wholesome example of masculinity. I think, I can't remember their names, but a couple characters from Parks and Rec come up a lot in that. People don't hate masculinity.
When you try to make men more like women, you don't get less toxic masculinity. You get more.
Oh my god. Oh, they never cease to amaze me.
Because bad men don't become good when they stop being men. They become good when they stop being bad.
Yes, that's what opposition to toxic masculinity is trying to stop. The thing you're making fun of here.
The answer to toxic masculinity isn't less masculinity. It's better masculinity.
Okay, I'm worried I'm gonna sound like a broken record by the end of the video because we're 1 minute in, but you are agreeing with your opponent. You've created a straw man of pink or blue lesbians at college who study lesbian basket weaving who say men should be less like men, and you're taking that as the whole movement. That's your whole response here.
When men embrace their masculinity in a way that is healthy and productive, they are leaders, warriors, and heroes.
It's interesting. It's really important to note here how much PragerU keeps highlighting warriorship. Like leadership, okay, whatever. Again, that's not an exclusively masculine trait. A woman who is a leader is not unfeminine. But it's interesting that they keep going to war. That's an interesting wording there, warriors. Warrior implies like a love of war.
When they deny their masculinity, they run away from responsibilities, leaving destruction and despair in their wake.
The masculinity you make fun of for people are calling toxic leaves destruction and despair in their wake. If you want to talk about what leaves destruction and despair in the wake, it's the wars that you're over here saying.
Leaders, warriors.
Oh, good men are warriors, but bad men leave destruction and despair. The highest source of destruction and despair is fucking war.
The consequences can be seen everywhere. 1 in 4 fathers now lives apart from his children.
How many of those are black dads you're jailing because they had half a gram of weed in their pocket?
They are at far greater risk for incarceration.
Oh, look, they cited a study here. That's pretty rare for PragerU. Normally when you click down in the description box and you're like, hey, Dennis Prager, where are your sources? They go,
we made it up. We made this one up. It's a total fabrication.
And children who grow up without a dad are generally more depressed than their peers who have a mother and a father. They are at far greater risk for incarceration, teen pregnancy, and poverty.
It's so interesting. They've listed out a bunch of things that can all be tied back to the last one, that growing up without a dad puts you in a more precarious financial situation, but they're still looking at this as if the source of these impacts on children are purely just a dad. Like they're kind of, they're starting with their conclusion and then they're like, oh yeah, having not a dad is bad because it makes you depressed. No, poverty makes you fucking depressed, dude.
Of all the rocks upon which we build our lives, family is the most important. And we are called to recognize and honor how critical every father is to that foundation.
But not too many fathers, right? Because all of a sudden that's a problem for the kids? Wait, that's a good point. If having a dad in your life is so important that it makes you less depressed, you're in trouble less, you're less likely to be in poverty, why shouldn't they be advocating for everyone to have 2 dads? Fuck it! Because if PragerU's claim is correct that, separate from any other factors, masculinity cures poverty and incarceration, government and cultural institutions should suggest, coerce, or enforce a society in which only the most square-jawed Chad gay men are allowed to raise kids. Gay Chads raising kids will provide twice the masculine energy, and with that we could eliminate all these bad traits. Then we'll never have teen pregnancy or poverty. Right, PragerU?
We'll admit that too many fathers are missing from too many lives and too many homes.
I urge Prager University, find me people saying the opposite, okay? We could talk about, what it means to deconstruct the role of the nuclear family and all that, but I don't think anyone would disagree that, having a safe, supportive, strong household is good. This whole thing is just kind of like arguing against scarecrows.
As much as we try to deny the need for real masculine strength in society, there's no denying its necessity.
Strength is what's important. Kindness is what's important. Support is what's important. Doesn't matter if it comes from 2 moms, 2 dads, 1 mom, 1 dad, 2 parental units who don't identify with any gender binary. So long as they have those qualities, that's what's important.
Healthy families and strong communities depend on the leadership and bravery of good men.
Communities don't depend specifically on good men, believe it or not. They depend on good people.
The current trend is to feminize young men in the hope.
Oh my god, this is one of their iconic graphs. Holy shit. Oh my god. Label your axis, motherfucker. Jesus Christ. What's so frustrating about this line of argument, and I've seen this before, but it's really concentrated here. They're saying, no, masculinity can be all of these good things, so therefore masculinity is good. And then their opponents who are saying that same thing, they're just kind of gesturing to elements of what those people would call femininity that possess those same traits. They're like, oh no, this is bad. It's like, no, that's all they're asking for. Like kindness and things like that. All toxic masculinity is trying, the term, not the it in action, is trying to do is to get people to step away from aggression and to be more level-headed.
On the playground, aggressive games like dodgeball have long been.
If the problem here is not that masculinity is bad, it's just the bad traits. What is it about aggressive games being banished that's bad then? Wouldn't that agree with your supposition that to have good masculinity, you need to get rid of the aggressive stuff? That just seems like a contradiction.
Everybody gets a trophy. Don't run up the score.
Running up the score? Not running up the score is anti-male. Is that what you're, that's such a weird, running up the score is such a dick move. Why would you want to associate that with your precious masculinity?
Women want real men.
This is fucking true Scotsman in its most phallic form, and I mean fallacy, not like a fucking cock. Women want real men. What feminists would tell you is that women want nice men, kind men. I don't know that they would say real men here. Your supposition that there's some sort of true quality to manhood and that running up the score is a part of it is they probably wouldn't agree with.
I don't know any woman at any age who is attracted to a passive man who looks to her to be his provider, protector, and leader.
There are plenty of women attracted to not overly aggressive, ambitious men, and there are plenty of men who, by the way, your whole real men thing a second ago, it's perfectly okay for a man to like want to sit at home and to be a stay-at-home dad. That's perfectly fine. That's a wholesome form of masculinity. That is perfectly fine. I really don't get why PragerU, libertarian lover of freedom, is out here trying to shame folks.
Every woman I know wants a strong, responsible man.
This binary you're creating is fucking irrelevant. Being passive does not also mean you're not strong and responsible. These don't disagree with each other. These are fucking perfectly capable to coexist.
Passive men don't defend, protect, or provide.
What is this? What is this claim? If you don't run up the score, you couldn't have killed a Nazi, you little piss baby.
They all have two things in common: bad men who do the raping, murdering, and warring, and weak men who won't stop them.
The overlap between those two groups, it's almost a circle. It's funny here that they say weak men won't stop raping, murdering, and warring, when the people who enable those things are the people who are toxically masculine. It's not the other side of the spectrum. Like, the people that enable violent warring are violent war hawks. It's not pacifists that enable war hawks.
I'm Allie Stuckey for Prager University.
Okay, thanks, Allie Stuckman or whatever. On to Witt. I'm sure this will be rigorous and full of facts.
Have you guys ever seen male rompers? That is a disgusting, horrible thing.
Okay, this is immediately what I expected from Witt. Witt is diving straight into the fucking traditionalist shit well. If you can rock a romper, you have the most distilled confidence of any kind of human being, okay? I will not stand for this romper shaming.
Men should not wear rompers.
Again, libertarians over here, social libertarians here, do whatever you want, but also men should never be in a clothing that I don't think they belong in.
And you see men who are like 16, or not men, boys who are 16, 17 years old, dancing to songs, lip syncing, and they have earrings on, and they do their hair so pretty. I mean, I do mine too, but it's different. It's different.
You literally just made a joke out of an internal contradiction in your fucking philosophy, okay?
It's a big deal, because right now in America, you have men, young men, I think up to the age of 26, are killing themselves at a rate that is 5 times more than young women.
And what does that have to do with a lack of masculinity? Is it possible, going back to the last video, that it has a lot to do with poverty and a decreasing financial situation for men across the board? Is that where it comes from, or is it the fact that a few of them wear rompers?
Or I mean, even here probably at DU, I mean, they're godless places. The university is a godless place.
Godless place. You see, that's the problem in America right now. It's not the fact that wages haven't grown since the 70s, or at least haven't met productivity and CEO compensation since the 70s. It's the fact that universities aren't religious institutions and men are wearing dresses.
And I know this is how young men feel. I know that young men feel that they have no purpose. They feel like there's not a whole lot of stuff that they can do. They get shamed by the left. They're told that they're terrible people, and
People don't on the regular say, you're awful for being a man. That's how people like him frame it. Then he's like, oh, well, these people, they're just making him feel bad. No, you're interpreting what somebody else is saying as make men feel bad, telling them that's what these people are saying. You're creating your own conclusion here. Get the fuck out.
The divorce rate is, I think, close to 70%.
Maybe the divorce rate is so high because men suck. Maybe the divorce rate is so high these days compared to in history because women couldn't fucking open bank accounts until the 70s, so they had no financial means of escaping bad situations.
Thank you for watching this video.
Okay, dude, shut up, Dennis. So yeah, in general, not certainly as bad as I expected from Prager University, especially considering the one we just started on last time.
Lee deemed slavery a moral and political evil in any country, but considered it a greater evil to the white man than to the black race.
Oh!
Blacks are relatively better off here than in Africa.
Really? Really? Really, PragerU? I suppose I just want to wrap up by saying once more, the whole binary conversation around masculinity and femininity is such a useless framework because what we really are talking about is the qualities. When a feminist might point to femininity or toxic masculinity, they're describing certain things they don't like, aggression, selfishness, those sort of things. So I really think it's just a huge waste of time to get ourselves caught up in saying whether a random generic trait is more associated with men or women, and we should just focus on the traits themselves. Like, should people be kind? Yes. Should people not be dicks? Yes. If you want to call that empowerment of the toxic masculinity framework, or if you want to call that an indictment of feminists who talk about toxic masculinity, I don't fucking care. Just support good things, not bad things. Real hot take there. But I would also say, you notice in the details of some of these PragerU things, they do kind of implicitly agree with some of those bad traits. Like, they're like, why are we shaming warriors and warhawks so much? So they're not necessarily the most good faith part of this conversation, or the most upfront about what things they consider good, but regardless, I do generally think it's just a worthless framework. But yeah, with that, let's hand it on over to End Screen Piley. Take it away, my dude. Thanks, Reaction Room Piley, and thank you, viewers, for watching today's video. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to toss me one of them likes and subscribe down below. Make sure to ring that little bell and set the notifications to all so you can know the exact nanosecond I release my next video. Special shout out to all my mature and capable of self-reflection patrons, like those whose names are currently on screen. On top of generously supporting me, patrons get access to exclusive and early content, like rough edits of every video and unreleased behind-the-scenes footage. So be sure to join me on Patreon if you want access to all those goodies. Make sure to share this video on whichever social medias you frequent. It really helps the channel out and I appreciate it. Also be sure to follow me on Twitter because I make a useful observation there at least once a week. Thanks much, and I'll see you next time.